Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I picked up this welcome friend sign from Michael's on the 70% off sale. This was part of the Easter holiday decor that they had, and I thought this would be great to make a sign for my business. So I removed the welcome. I didn't want to break the E, but unfortunately I did. However, we can glue it back together later and reuse this piece of the sign. So I took a little more care and I just lift the sign off of its back, removing the small staples that they had inside of it so that we could prepare the sign for what we would do with it next. Just be careful with these little bitty nails. They are carpenter or finishing nails and you don't want to get them on the floor to step on them. I then took some of the Dollar Tree black chalk paint and I painted the interior portion of the entire sign. I paid close attention to making sure that every place where words or designs were, that I put a really heavy coat of paint on it so that it would not be seen through the paint. And that's one of the reasons I went with the chalk paint. It's a little thicker and a great primer to use if you're going to try to cover up some items. I did not worry about the outside of the wood so much because I knew that I would be painting that again later. I just made sure that I had a really good coat of chalk paint. I did 2 coats of that chalk paint, and then I came in with a little bit of the Deco Art, which you guys know this is my favorite paint, the Deco Art Metallic Black. This one is called Zinc, I believe, and I just used 2 coats of this as well, making sure to cover it well on the inside and also trying to make sure that my lines or streaks in it were smooth. I did not worry about having a perfect paint on this as well because this is not going to be our final coat. Now I did come in with some black glitter, but I later found out that this was a waste of time and glitter because when we put our final spray paint over it, it's going to cover the glitter up anyway. So you do not have to do this step. But I would say take the step of subscribing. If you're not a member of our family, please consider subscribing. We would love to have you a part of our family. I then went to my Silhouette Cameo Studio and I printed out my business's name, which is Classy Shade Designs, and I'm using some Cricut vinyl here to print this on. And I have to tell you that I am not a fan of the Cricut vinyl because it just doesn't seem to hold for me, and I'm going to show you several different reasons why I dislike the Cricut vinyl. It weeded easy, it printed easy. However, I could not get this vinyl to detach from the transfer tape on the first round. And once I got it detached from the transfer tape, I couldn't get it to stick to the board, to our sign. And we're trying to make this to have it be a stencil, if you would, of my business's name. So I wanted it to stick down to the sign, but this was horrible. It would not stick to the back of the board. So I thought to myself, okay, maybe if I glue Mod Podge over the glitter, maybe it's the glitter that's stopping it from sticking down. I'll glue Mod Podge down and then I'll try this again to see if that works. So I put a nice layer of Mod Podge all around. I waited on the Mod Podge to dry so that I would have a clean sticky slate for it. And I reprinted and cut out again the Classy Shade Designs, Fearfully and Wonderfully Made is my slogan. And again, no such luck using Cricut's vinyl. I could not get this to detach from the transfer tape, even after having, I used the transfer tape to stick it on my clothes, to try multiple ways to get this off. And I just finally said, okay, I'm not going to be able to get this done with the Cricut vinyl. And I have so much Cricut vinyl here. I was trying to use it up for this purpose, but Cricut's vinyl just does not work for me for my projects. That's why I really, really like the Oracle 651 or Oracle 650, which is how I ultimately ended up getting it done. However, I can say that it wasn't the easiest, but it was better than the Cricut, and I decided to leave off the Fearfully and Wonderfully Made because at this point, with having used 3 different types of vinyl, I was over it. I did come back in with another coat of the black metallic zinc paint so that I could cover over the vinyl. And this is to hopefully stop any overspray once I take this outside and spray paint the entire thing. We'll see how that works when I come back. I took it outside to my garage and I gave it about 3 or 4 really good coats of silver metallic, Krylon silver metallic spray. And you can see, even with having done the overspray coat, I still had a little bit of paint that came through underneath. But it's okay. We'll figure out how to cure and fix that in a minute. I just went ahead and took up the rest of my vinyl, being very careful not to overpill the spray painted metallic paint, but getting all the vinyl off of the backing board. Now, once I had all of the vinyl pulled off, I went ahead and mixed together some black glitter and Mod Podge along with paint so that we could paint in the lines. And you can see here on the bottom of the board that a couple of spaces did not cover well with the paint, but that's okay because we will clear those pieces off and make them better. I also used a little bit of mica powder because I wanted to give it some sheen to the Mod Podge mixture, and I just very light, very carefully covered inside of every part of the lines with the Mod Podge mixture so that I could improve the way that it was looking after having spray painted. Now, to finalize this look, I'm going to make some paper flowers. And the little tool that I'm using here is simply a drill bit with a hair clip that I use some UV resin to epoxy onto the drill bit. So this is my permanent little tool, which helps me make my paper flowers fairly fast. It's actually very handy and makes making paper flowers fairly easy. So I just twist my tool around it. I back it off just a little bit to loosen it up on the inside. And then I apply some hot glue. And this is probably the best and fun way to make paper flowers. In fact, I showed inside of my members only group how you can make this little tool and make the paper flowers. So if you're not a member, I encourage you to join our family. It's $4.99 a month. It helps us produce videos, helps my channel out, and then it allows me to be able to send all of some of these fun items that we make to you. So here's the flowers that I made. Once the sign had dried and the classy portion was all done, I came in and hot glued the paper flowers onto our sign. I also trimmed the edge of the sign out and blinged it out with some of the bling wrap that we have. Picked that bling wrap up, I believe, from Alibaba. I actually absolutely love it. Has a really good adhesive on the back, and it is just absolutely beautiful. So we finished decorating the sign, and I will show you what it looks like in just a moment. And here she is. Isn't she beautiful? I hung it on the door in my office, and I am going to leave her here for display because this is where I do all of my classy shade designs, right here in my craft room. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that you've subscribed to the channel. I'll see you Sunday at 1 p.m.